the only way that the NFL could save their owners, if this is really going to go to discovery, the only way the NFL could save this and stop this bad publicity is to... Now, here's another thing I wanted to talk about. Big story here. And this is the Jon Gruden case. There's been an update with this case. As it stands, we know Jon Gruden is suing the National Football League and Roger Goodell specifically for selectively leaking his emails in order to force him to resign and basically force him out of a job and character assassinate him, ruin his career, not only his coaching career, but his ability to be a media personality, his ability to have sponsorships. You know, he's had all kinds of sponsorships throughout the years. Who wouldn't want their product sponsored by Gruden? If he sponsors something, I might buy it right now. So all this has happened. They've ruined his career and he's had a lawsuit against them. And originally, this lawsuit was in the District Court of Nevada. We broke down everything that happened during the hearing between the NFL and Jon Gruden and his legal team. And the NFL has been trying to force his case into arbitration. Now, what does that mean? That means that the NFL and Roger Goodell himself...
Wow, even the virtual boos are good.
We'll decide how it gets handled and how it's resolved. Arbitration, it's got to just be resolved and settled within the NFL. And they're claiming because Gruden signed that contract, he agreed to have all disputes with the NFL handled through arbitration with the NFL, with the commissioner overseeing it. That's what they're arguing. Now, what Jon Gruden and his team is arguing is he's no longer employed by the NFL. So all this BS about, oh, it needs to be handled through arbitration, well, he's no longer under contract. And if they're going to argue that past employees with their grievances with the NFL have to go through arbitration, then that would mean that anybody who's ever worked for the NFL for the rest of their life, if they ever have a problem with the NFL, has to have freaking the commissioner Goodell handle it, and it can't be through a court case. That's basically the dispute, which is ridiculous. Roger Goodell is being sued by Jon Gruden. Obviously, Roger Goodell cannot oversee his own punishment, what he's being charged for, what he's being sued for, and settle it. That would be ridiculous. So the judge in Nevada in the district court denied the NFL's motion to send it to arbitration. They said, no, that doesn't make sense. This should go to a case. And the NFL freaked out because the fact that they said no, we could finally get into the discovery process of the case, meaning that the NFL might have to fork over emails, text messages, data from their computer so the lawyers could investigate what was going on with these email leaks. And the NFL filed a motion to appeal this judge's decision, and it has made it all the way to the Nevada Supreme Court. So they are freaking out, filing the appeal. The Jon Gruden case, as Florio continues to grind forward slowly over the NFL's effort to force the claims into arbitration controlled by Goodell. And this is Mike Florio talking about this. So Gruden's lawyers submitted paperwork supporting the ruling against the league, since the league is appealing to the Supreme Court. The latest thing right now is that the court is ruling against the NFL. The NFL is appealing. Gruden submitted paperwork to further back up his claims against the NFL. And now we're sort of in this waiting period. It's been 17 months. It's so crazy. It's been dragged out so long. It's been 17 months. And I feel like what the NFL is doing right now is they want to just drag this out as much as possible to sort of starve Jon Gruden of money. But Jon Gruden's made a lot of money throughout his life, and I think he's going to go all in on this. But if the NFL's appeal does not work out, which I don't think their appeal is going to work out, when a judge denies their motion to send it to arbitration from the bench, which is what the Nevada district judge did, Nancy Elf, when you do that, because usually you go in the back, you go look through the notes, then you go make your decision. She did it like right there, and she was just like, nah, that means that you were so screwed, meaning the NFL, that it's not even worth deliberating behind the scenes. Like it's an open and shut case. So I don't think the NFL is going to succeed here. And I think this is going to keep moving forward. And I think we're going to find out a lot of stuff about the NFL. And I think the only way that the NFL could save their owners, other coaches, their media teams, because like we're going to learn so much about how the league works. We're going to be able to read more emails. We might even have access to the whole entire 650,000. Like if this goes to discovery, that's what will happen. If this is really going to go to discovery, if their appeal is not going to be granted, the only way the NFL could save this and stop this bad publicity is to pay Gruden a huge settlement and allow him to get back in the NFL and coach. Because I feel like he would actually stop this lawsuit if there was a way he can be allowed back in the NFL and coach. If there was some way, and obviously there'd be collusion and they could argue, oh, nobody's hiring you just because you're not talented or whatever. They could always argue that, but we know, he's won a Super Bowl. He's He's got all the accolades. You know, he's been in the league. So I feel like that's the only way that it could be resolved. And maybe behind the scenes, they can work something out with him. And, you know, maybe we could see Gruden back in the NFL. Like, if he is succeeding legally here and the NFL really wants this bad press to stop, and we know that's all he wants. We know it's not about the money with this guy. We know he wants to coach NFL football. He's still a young guy. He's younger than people like Andy Reid. So I think this is what the NFL has to do. Not even that old. In Andy Reid, 65. He's younger than Andy Reid. So I think this is what needs to happen. And I think this is what could possibly happen. So Jon Gruden coming back in the NFL is a possibility. I'm going to hold out hope.